What is BPO? It's the practice of externalizing work from within your company to a third party, and the abbreviation of the term business process outsourcing. That is just the literal definition though. And if that's all you wanted to know, great, you can stop this video now. But if you want to learn about BPO companies, what outsourcing can actually do, and how to realistically get started, then by all means, keep watching. This video was made with chapters in mind, so if you need to jump ahead or come back and check out a specific part, it's always right down there. And if you're wondering who we are, well, we're SupportNinja, a BPO company ourselves. We've been working to be a better way to outsource for nearly 10 years now, so we've picked up a thing or two in our ventures. All right then, with that being said, let's jump into Chapter 1 with an overview of business process outsourcing. So again, BPO is the practice of externalizing work from within your company to a third party. The main objective here is to decrease costs and create more time for focusing on business scaling and gaining competitive advantages. Before we go any further though, we've got to understand two terms: front office outsourcing and back office outsourcing. Front office refers to business functions which involve the company's customers. Think of call center support, technical troubleshooting, sales, marketing, that sort of thing. Back office processes, on the other hand, are tasks that happen behind the scenes. They're core functions that keep the business operational, such as administration, payroll, human resources, accounting, logistics, and the like. Now, both of these are sides of the same coin that can be entrusted to an outsourcing partner who usually takes full responsibility for the service delivery and for assigning the best talent. And I'm not just pulling this claim out of nowhere. Check this out. Clutch, who are one of the biggest B2B research firms, found that 90% of SMBs planned to use some form of outsourcing or BPO in 2022. The main reasons they cited were saving time, lowering costs, gaining access to industry experts, and having more opportunities to grow their company. Here's the deal though. Outsourcing doesn't take on the entire production of another company. The client is still in charge of their business's direction, service or product quality, and all executive decisions. Outsourcing is really just externalizing tasks to another company. It's because outsourcing empowers clients with higher flexibility, efficiency, and when it's all said and done, saves them a good bit of money. It eliminates overhead, bypasses certain taxations, and is overall typically less expensive than hiring in-house. Now, I've briefly mentioned how we do things here at SupportNinja, but let's jump into the next chapter and talk about the types of BPO companies. If you choose to go the route of business process outsourcing, you've got three options. These will essentially dictate the geographical aspect of the deal. Offshore outsourcing is when your BPO contract is executed outside the borders of your home country. However, the foreign country must have a stable political situation, lower costs of labor or some sort of tax-saving benefits, and fulfill business requirements. Nearshore outsourcing is when your partner is executing the business process outsourcing contract in a country that borders your own. Finally, onshore/domestic outsourcing implies a contract that's being executed within your own country, but not necessarily your city or your region. The most common of these three when it comes to BPO is offshore outsourcing. Choosing an offshore BPO provider is oftentimes less expensive without risking service quality. While you have to be willing to invest in your startup or SMB, it might be less than you think when you use BPO. Here's a case in point. At SupportNinja, we're a US-based BPO with over 3,000 employees. However, the majority of our customer-facing agents are located in the Philippines. But on top of that, we also operate with support agents here in the United States, as well as over in Ireland and Romania, respectively. Getting back to all three types of BPO options, though. While these three are the meaning of BPO on paper, it's not as cut and dry in practice. BPO isn't a formula that you can apply the same exact way every single time. You can find offshore vendors who are just going to go through the motions, or you can find someone who puts in the time and the effort. We personally pride ourselves in having incredible people that do incredible work, anytime, anywhere, in 13 languages, 24/7. If all of this is sounding pretty good, let's talk about how you actually partner with a BPO company in the next chapter. BPO contracts. How do they actually work? Well, the best way to approach outsourcing depends on the scale of your organization and your market's economics. For one thing, different businesses will have different priorities. Even more important though, not all organizations have the same financial means. Startups, SMBs, and enterprises may see value in different ways. Now generally, there are two ways to sign a business process outsourcing deal. In both cases though, make sure you clearly state the scope of work. You'll use that to draft up a request for proposal, or RFP. Then you send that RFP to multiple vendors, and you'll get an offer from each of them, usually. Ultimately though, it's up to you to decide who can best meet your business requirements and at what price. Remember, the most important aspect in BPO is added value. Quality costs more. Time and material contracts are paid for the time and materials used. Fixed price contracts will have the same price for every single month. The last bit of work is negotiating your service level agreement, or SLA. This document will be the universal source of truth for what can be considered success and good metrics. It doesn't stop there though. You can also ask for dedicated workers for your account, like what we do. You can also ask for vetting for all your candidates yourself before they're assigned to you. On top of that, you can ask for 24/7 support or specific hours and specific time zones. All right, still with me? One more chapter to go, and it's probably the most important for next steps. It's how to choose a BPO provider. While outsourcing is a lot about shifting and reducing costs and simply reporting, it's a cultural thing too. The outsourcer and the client need to share values and work ethics. It can't simply be a financial agreement, because companies at the end of the day are made up of people. And take it from experience, when people don't like each other, they rarely achieve great things together. At SupportNinja, we work with our clients, with whom we can resonate as a brand. And that means realizing great things together. From providing top-tier services, to sharing feedback from our partners' customers, to helping align outcomes within product life cycles. We are a BPO service provider who will understand you, your business, and your industry. We can meet your current needs, anticipate your future ones, and help you scale. All of this is 24/7 in 13 languages across all continents. So, if that sounds like your speed, check out the link in the description to get started. And I kind of realized that was a strange way of diving into choosing a BPO provider, but hey, sometimes you need to toot your own horn. Basically though, look for qualities like ours in any BPO partner, even if it's not us. So, that'll about do it for this video. Just to solidify things one more time, BPO is the practice of externalizing work from within your company to a third party, and is an abbreviation of the term business process outsourcing. Hopefully you learned that and a thing or two else along the way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.